In this video, we're going to be taking a look at outlining this anchor in rhinestones. And while it's a simple project, there's actually many steps involved. And so I'm just going to show you how I would tackle it. So this, first of all, is a bitmap that was provided to us. So we're going to trace our bitmap. A lot of times, we don't actually need a vector artwork. In this case, it's actually going to help us a bit to have vector artwork. So we can see this is the trace result we get. So we'll go ahead and select that, just satisfy that. That's fine, that basic trace result. And if we go into wireframe mode, now we can see all of our cut lines where previously we just had our bitmap, right? So we'll go ahead and dispose of that. Let's go ahead and right-click on our artwork and ungroup. Let's get rid of our monogram because we don't need that. And there's an extra white piece there in the center. We don't need that. All right. Now, here is one of my biggest pet peeves is when we have a symmetrical design like this, we don't want to do twice the work because this design is symmetrical left to right. We only have to stone half of it. So what I would probably do is go ahead and just select my design and go ahead and use the CVH, and that will find our center vertical, and then I would drag a box and cut this design in two. So we'll go to our pick tool, hold our shift key and grab the bottom part of our anchor and trim, and then we grab our box and the top part and trim. You don't have to do that, of course, but that's just what I would do. Okay, so on the next part here, let's go ahead and just right click, and now let's go back to we'll go right click to add a guideline to the right edge again. I wanted to find out where center is here. So what I want to do is I want to drag out a circle, holding our control key to drag a perfect circle. So now we have a perfect circle, and we can make it bigger or smaller, whatever we want to do there. But then I'm going to go to my island fill here on the stone fill tab and offset 1. Now, I actually skipped a step. This total design, I want it to be 14 inches tall. So we'll go ahead and make that 14 inches tall. Okay. So now we can offset this one island fill. Select those two lines. We already have our stone set to SS10 and our color to crystal. So we'll click on add stones for that part. And we'll delete our stone paths. You can see there's a stone path on those two lines of circles. So we'll go ahead and delete our stone path. All right. So now what do we do? Well, you can see that the original artwork isn't perfect. You can see it kind of tails off here. It's not perfectly straight. So I would think I want it perfectly straight. So I'm just going to drag a guideline down and then double click on my shape. And this node, click and drag. We'll get rid of that node. We'll move this node up, right click on the line and make it a straight line. So now that line's perfectly straight. Okay, same thing here. Right click, make that perfectly straight. Go ahead and drag it down a guideline here. And let's move this up. Double click and move that node up. So it too is perfectly straight. Okay. And again, you don't have to do all this. This is just, me just being over obsessive, I guess. Now, the rest of it, we can pretty much leave as is. I'm pretty happy with it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select these nodes at these corner points. Just select these nodes. And I'm selecting one, holding my shift key and selecting the others. So you've seen what I've done here at all those points, right? What we're supposed to be able to use is break it nodes. Now mine's broken because I've fiddled with it too much. But basically what it does is everywhere we have selected our node, it would break at that point, okay? And we want that when we're doing our stones because then it would place a stone at every exact corner. Now, we actually have a function here where we can choose, you see here it says break curve, but we can right click on these here and it says break apart. Now, the curve actually isn't broken apart. You can see that there. Yet, we still have to break it one more time. So, you can see here. Now, these are individual pieces. So that's kind of why we have the break it nodes, because it's a two-step process in CorelDRAW. And so when break it nodes is working like it's supposed to be, then it's just a one-step process instead of two. So we don't need this down here at the bottom. So now we've disposed of that. And we kind of need to do the same thing up here. So double click on our shape. Let's grab our nodes. Let's go ahead and right click on one of them and break apart. And then we have to break apart our shape. So we have to just click off, click back on our shape here. And then we can break it apart again. And now we have, maybe, break it apart again. It's fighting me a little bit. So now you can see we have that part that we no longer need. So now we can just take these pieces and stone just these. And the way I'm selecting all those pieces is by holding my Alt key down and just kind of swiping through them. And then we can add stones. And that's it. So now our design is basically done. So let's go ahead and swipe through them again. Let's delete our stone paths because we don't need those anymore. Let's go back to enhance mode so we can see what we have. See what we're actually making here? So now we could just flip this over, grab that control handle, hold your control key and then right click to make a duplicate. And then obviously we're just going to go boom, center to center, just like so. And you can see, don't worry about that. We're going to clean that up in a moment. We have the same situation up here. Let's go ahead and delete this stone and this one. And now let's go ahead and select our entire design and do a check spacing. That's going to check for any overlapping stones, which we already know there are a few. And then we're going to fix this. So we're just going to select that and hit horizontal. And that'll evenly space those. And we'll select this and hit horizontal, and that'll evenly space those. And that's it. So now what we can do here is we can take this, because there's a little bit extra space there. We can position that. I'm holding my shift key, so it's a perfectly vertical movement. And so you can put that exactly how you want it. Let's go ahead and throw a weed box around it. And that's really all there is to it. So you can see there's quite a few steps involved to get it done, but it's pretty basic, once you understand all those individual steps. So that's how you would go about adding the perimeter rhinestones to the design, making it a vector, and then just do a little bit of node editing so you get the rhinestones placed exactly the way you like, but only doing half the design, flip it over, do the other half, and then you're done. So pretty basic, pretty simple, but hopefully that will help you out with other designs where you have to do some similar geometry and what have you. Thanks for watching.